Alright, today I have a new backdrop here. This is just UPS truck's picture. I took a nice picture of that. I wanted to get them all in there, but there was a vehicle that kind of prevented me to do that. But this is across from the state surplus where I get the free binders, and I don't know, oh, I thought my phone was going off. Maybe it was. Might be in another room or just some other noise there. So for whatever reason, a bunch of UPS trucks were there. They're usually not all parked out like this, and there's another string of 5 or 6 off to the other picture I took. But anyway, that's not what this video was about here. My last COMC came in here. Why they have to use so many crazy top loaders, I don't know. I don't mind or care, but those top loaders are just going to be used for other people. Just get rid of those dang top loaders. These all go on binders. I'm running out of binder space here. And why did I get these? I was just dying for vintage cards of any kind. So sick of having to pay, $1 to $2, $3 a piece, even $4 based on shipping for some of these. So I just did a COMC. All these cards, there's 26 or 27 cards here, and they came out to just around $21. It was under $21 or under $22, so they're less than $1 a card. So I think Geez Mikey would approve. I just don't have anywhere I can get vintage cards around here super easily. I mean, there's one place and they do have some, but it's hit or miss, and it's just a little bit more than I want to pay. If you see something for $3, why would I want to get it for $3 when eBay is $1? So just, I don't have the choices there, and that's the only card you can choose from. It's not like you have multiple copies. COMC, you can get crazy amounts of copies. Some of these were like not even 40 cents. Some of these were $1, 10 or something crazy. I don't know exactly what they all worked out to. We'll start off the ones at the top loaders here. We got Dick Ricketts, because I needed that card. Again, some of the conditions may not be suitable for those people who want to get them graded, so these are technically not gradable. They would come back in the 2 to the 3 range, maybe 4, depending on how how PSA felt. Just take this one other thing here. I didn't realize there was a big wrinkle in there, but again, I'm not really worried about it. I just wanted the card there, and the price was right. So they put one of the worst condition ones in a top loader there. And we have a checklist that got put in a top loader. They just randomly throw cards in top loaders to protect the order there. So I never buy top loaders. 5th series checklist. Again, it was probably 35 or 39 cents. I just bought it because I'm just throwing a bunch of checklists together and see what I want to do with them. They're all different because people have marked them up all differently. So all different types of kids had those. Then we got Bill Rigney. Take this one on the top loader and show you what it looks like here. Again, to somebody's creases and dings and stuff on that, but this is a hard enough subset to build. I was trying to build the whole subset, but unfortunately there's 2 separate sections, and I didn't realize that, and there's all different they look all very similar, and I have a few of them, so it just makes it so annoying trying to figure out which ones you have. There's probably about 20 of those, I'm not really sure. Then the last 2, I think, some of these are super minty fresh. This Jimmy Dykes is in really super perfect condition. I mean, who knows? It could be trimmed. It almost looks like it might have been. Again, you have to be very, very careful here. Don't know. Let me just mark it up against this one here. I don't know. But it just almost looks too perfect and too carefully. I don't know. It just looks way perfect. Sometimes you have like a corner ding there that looks like it doesn't match the whatever there. I'm just trying to look at the borders. It's probably good, but again, just always have to be very careful. Let me just measure it around one I've already had before, and all the dimensions look right on, so that should be just a good card there. And I think we got one more in top loader, Bob Dullaba. I think he was still alive, maybe that's why I got this one here and I didn't have a 66. Sadly, I couldn't see the crease in the picture. I think I saw the wax, but there's a big honking crease in there. And you swear that somebody bent it trying to get it into a holder, but again, I don't know. But hopefully that'll be good enough. I can clean off the wax there, no problem, and I think that's probably why I got it. But I would not get a Bob Dullaba with a crease right across his forehead if it was photographed properly. Come on, people, just do your homework. I know they flat scan them or something, it just doesn't work there. Now we get to the ones that are not in top loaders. We have Al Dark, and I don't believe I have that one there. These are not cheap. These are cheap. These are like, nobody wants these cards. No one. There's tons of copies, those are available. But you check on eBay, and they are not cheap on eBay. People want a little bit more. This one here was to replace one that I just, and again, I could not see any of the damage in the picture. So here's a Bob Sheffing here that I already had. He's creased right there. It looks like he's been munched, thrown into a wall, and kind of damaged there and some other stuff. And this Bob Sheffing is not any better. It really isn't. I mean, the colors in the picture is better, so it plays better. You will not be able to see that, but there's like a ding, like a line of dings right across there, and there's another ding there, another ding there. So it's like it got dropped like that and somebody picked it up and got dings on it. So, and then there's a crease right across here. So that was not great. I didn't do my homework on that one. So it'll replace this one here, but really so it looks better in a page. So you may not be able to see that. The backs are all relatively clean on these. So out with a Bob Sheffing and not really much of an upgrade, which is unfortunate. Fred Whitfield. This one turns out it is an original buyback. I think a seller had a sale and that was $1. Again, I cannot find or afford stars because eBay is basically really difficult to find stuff, and I leave it up to the experts there. Solly Hemus, I think he used to be a good TTM signer back in the day. Little something on there, but it picked right off there. Oh, I've altered it, oh no. Henry's Card Care. Little damage right there, but again, some of the colors on these are very dull and faded. Some of them are super bright. This one here looks like it's got some color issues here. It may have been one that they said that was, wet at one point. See, it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of washed out there. But this is Pierce Stars and 3-Hit Victory, the World Series card there, so I just wanted that one. Not expensive. Then we got another cheapo buyback here. This is the 50th anniversary of Topps. Little bubble in the, but it's pretty good condition there. Bubble in the paper there. So this is Orlando McFarland. Never heard of him. Never heard of him. He's card number 496. Not quite a high number, but pretty darn close, semi-high or whatever. I would have had to pay a lot for that when I was a kid. That's why I don't know who that is. Stan Williams was a good TTMer up until, his passing. Beautifully conditioned card, but somebody just got rid of it because they were annoyed that it was centered. That a trigger. Triggers a lot of people. Trigger. Then we've got Jim Marshall, because I think he's still alive, and I want to get this signed if that's my belief there. I think he might be, so we'll have to double check Jim Marshall again. It's been a while. Different Jim Marshall than the one that just died. We have Jack Sanford. And again, there's a crease there. I might have seen that crease. It's been, when you look at these cards a month ago, you just don't remember why you grabbed them. Sometimes you didn't care because price. Eli Gerba, this one here is just a filler card there. Something on here, I don't know what that is. Hopefully that'll clean off there. Maybe not. There was tons of copies of that one with the glasses, for the glasses PC for those people who care. There's that one there. Then we have Larry Jackson. This one I've already tested, and this has got a crazy glop of wax stain on there. You may not be able to see that, but this one right here cleaned right off perfectly, just with a little wipe there. So that'll all come off and improve the condition. I like buying these cheap ones and then improving the condition, and then people thought I spent money. We have Bubba Morton, Wycliffe Morton, to be more exact. Didn't know who he was, but I just got that for a set, thing there. Then we have Chuck Dressen, crease in there, but again, that's why these are, under $1, probably 75, 50 cents. I was really staying darn close to that 50 cents benchmark, between 50 and 60. That was the higher point to some of these cards. Chuck Dressen, the colors are much better on that one. Another checklist, the second series, from whatever year that was. I cannot remember the year there, but there's that one. Jack Hamilton, I don't think he's alive, but again, I was trying to fill out the order. So there's a Jack Hamilton from 63. I thought I was lacking in 63s. Believe me when I say that these creases on here are virtually nothing compared to what I had. When you have like somebody took like a belt sander to the corners and they're all white and fuzzy and there's no evidence of edges on the card anymore, that's what I used to have to buy. Then we have Joe Margineri, and because I couldn't find a good copy, he's the one that started the whole order. So this was like $1 on COMC, maybe a little bit more, but he was the cheapest copy. I mean, I know there's $5 addition or $6 additional in shipping, but 5 or 6, I couldn't remember. Maybe it was only 5 because it was a tiny order, I don't know. But anyway, there's that one there. This is not a super easy card to find because he's one of the few people who are still alive. Then we have a Jim Marshall, hopefully with not too big of a crease there, just a small one in his cap there, but I needed a Jim Marshall. I think he's still alive, so I'm going to get those out to him. They're kind of a fun cartoon there. Right there. We're down to like the last 4 or 5 cards here. We have Chuck Schilling. Don't remember if he was alive here. I have to do my research on all these, but it's a really awesome condition card that cost me virtually nothing. So, sometimes, like I said, it's worth it to buy these low-end cards here because what happens is a lot of people undergrade them, and or the overgrade as well too. But, for not even $1.50 or whatever, and then you go and buy one in the $3 or $4 category, or get caught up in the high bidding for a really minty looking common from, Greg Morris or whatever like that. This is so much cheaper, and so I take the chances all day long. This Mike Higgins, tiny little crud on there, but it looks like it'll kind of little wipe off or come off there. I'm just doing a little test here. Whatever it was, somebody got something on there, and most of it's come off already. So who knows, maybe somebody has sticky fingers in the top loader, but that's really displays very, very well. Nothing on the back there. So very good to have that one there. I had choices available. Another Bubba Morton here for 63. Again, I was going for cards that I didn't know of or see people show on the channel here. Hal Smith, I think he's passed away. There's a wax on here. A little fold right there. This almost looks like... I don't know. I gotta look at another one of those from that year there. I don't have too many of those right now. Maybe I did earlier, but oh no, it just looked different there. But it's there's a little bit of wax there that'll come off, and that little the full crease there, half crease there, doesn't bother me too much there. So that's good there. Last but not least, we have Bob Doliba. And I believe he's still alive, not 100% sure. I don't think I had that card, or I had one that was just totally thrashed. So there's that one there. Not a great places to sign there. Some Cardinal back there. But this is a really good condition card. To me it is anyway. You might say this is just all, yucky stuff there, but, and you say, geez, what did you get for your 20 bucks? I got, again, even with the shipping, it worked out to less than $1, so I was very, very happy there. Not happy I have to wait, because these guys are, no spring chickens, but I will work on this when I get a chance here, figure out. And that's just my vintage order here. I don't have anything really else to say. I really don't have anything to say about, Fred Whitfield. What do you say about him? He was on the Cleveland Indians, and he played a number of years and did a few things here. And he was born in 1930s. I don't know. Can't read that. It looks like 36, but I can't read that. Really don't know. But these guys would be, in their late 80s, early 90s for the most part. It's shocking that some of these guys, in these later 60s set, early 70s set, mid 70s, in their 70s and their 90s. It's just, there's going to be a time where we're just going to only be collecting these for collecting's sake and not trying to get autographs on them. Again, the 57, that was shocking to find somebody on a 57 that I'm going to try to get sent out in the next day or two. Hope everybody has a great day, and put something in the comments below what your favorite cards were. I'm sure it's the buybacks, and thank you for watching.